Hey everyone, we got a special live broadcast for you with Revolutionary Talk. Me and Jessica. Say hi, Jessica. We have some special guests tonight on a special night. Many of you guys know, it's 7/7, and we have special guests here from Guerilla Mainframe. We have Erick Khafre. We have Uhuru Balogun. So we have special guests. We're gonna get into whatever to what they're talking about tonight. But before we get into that, make sure you guys y'all share this on your pages. If you watch it from Facebook, make sure you subscribe, like, share, and also leave messages in the comments. But without further ado, we're gonna jump into this tonight. I'll talk about 7/7. Uh, I'm gonna let them explain what 7/7 is, and let's jump into it. Who wanna take it first?
Let the chairman handle
All right, all right.
All right, you always want me to talk. Trying to give him a little shine,
No, we want you to
man.
jump in there.
Well, 7/7 is what we call an International Day for Solidarity against the Victims of Police Terrorism, and also the International Day of Solidarity for those who resist. Because resistance is a part of our culture. Uh, Even more so than being victims of repression, right? Colonialism, capitalism, and slavery. A lot of people try to tie us to, oh, we just victims. They just beat us down, beat us down. I remember I made a post on Facebook a few years back highlighting, sometimes in history where we did resist slavery and oppression, and I ended the post by saying, hey, we kick ass too. As a people, our history, we resist anything that's not, good for the collective. And so we recognize that as well. And that's what Michael Xavier Johnson, who is a real person, that's what he represented, even though, like Conrad Field Marshal Uhuru would say, it may have been a reactionary situation, for him to have done what he done. But at the same time, we recognize that he was resisting on the behalf of the community. He took this step because he felt a certain way, based on what was going on in his community at the time, and that was national police terrorism. So 7/7 is the day where we recognize, all of the victims, not the one that just highlighted, not just George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, but all those who lost their lives to the brutal culture of Americanism based off capitalism and slavery.
Robert, you want to add on to that? Uhuru, you want to add on to that? What do you feel 7/7 represent? I know Chairman Erick spoke on it, but in your opinion, do you feel the same way or?
most definitely. I just feel like it's another step in resistance for us, like people in our past, like Harriet Tubman, Reverend Nat Turner, people like that. Our people need to be reminded of those who fought back. So, that's what Mike Xavier Johnson represents to us locally here in Dallas.
Now, one thing I do notice, y'all both said it was resistance, and yeah, a lot of people gonna say, "Hey, this really have to do with Michael as we know mainstream media look at him as a villain. Uh, Obviously, we don't see him as a villain. Why should he, for lack of better words, be celebrated? And why we don't look at him as a villain? Like, could you dive deeper into that a little more?
And that's one thing I put in my notes too. I notes when we have a discussion. One thing is that working class African people all over the world, but in the diaspora, we have to start talking the language that represents us. The language of the capitalist class, the white ruling class, they don't have nothing to do with us. Let's just be real. Other than if Kentu got, if he got some racks in his pocket, he can go buy the same Lamborghini as John Sadusky. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, we don't have the same or buy the same house. Other than that, we don't have the same interests. Their interest is to keep dominant white power in the form of capitalism and slavery afloat. And our job is to, do what we got to do, to survive, to move forward, and to progress individually as well as collectively. So we have to begin to understand that the language that we use has to be separate than the language that they use. Yeah, of course, somebody that has the interest that they want to keep working class people, particularly black and brown people, in a box, in a servitude, in a way that they can exploit them. Of course, their thing is, oh, yeah, anybody that rise up that resists, oh, they're disrespecting the country, they're disrespecting this, that, blah, blah, blah. And, and of course they're going to protect their frontline soldiers of the state, right? Which is the police force, the police department. That's what they've always been since the Haymarket riots in 1800s, okay? When great women like Lucy Parsons, who was a black woman, were fighting for an 8-hour workday, because back then men and women were working 20-some hours. We ain't talking about no overtime. We ain't talking about that cute stuff we doing today. Oh, I got my overtime. No, 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 no. You working 20 hours at this goddamn coal mine, at this plant, because that's what the fuck you gotta do. So back when we was working for an 8-hour workday with the equal pay of a 20-hour workday, we were rallying in the streets, led by black women in the labor movement. The corporations called these people, they collaborated with the state to deputize those who were white vigilantes and made them a police force and said, your job is to protect corporate property and corporate interests, and that's what we have today. So that's going to be their language of court, but our language shouldn't be that. And it's not just about celebrating Michael X murdering somebody, right? But we're talking about resistance, African resistance to colonialism, capitalism, exploitation, and slavery. So that's what we're saying. We're saying resistance. It's a different language between resistance and just flat out murder, right? Or terrorism. Yeah. I used to always say that we used to, do the media, they have us thinking that terrorism got something to do with a Muslim man with a long beard, right? But that ain't got nothing to do with terrorism. That when I think about the word terrorism, that's not the picture that pops in my head when I see terrorism. When I hear the word terrorism, I'm thinking about Clark Starler, badge number 9514, who killed Clinton Alley. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking at all these guys, Joannes Mersley, the one that just got sentenced to kill George Floyd. These are the people that's in my head. The military that's going overseas, collaborating with other bourgeois capitalist governments to suppress and oppress the people that want to control their resources. So this is what we see. Yeah. And so the state, of course, they're gonna say, oh, this is but they're paying, giving people medals and calling people heroes when they go overseas oppressing other people. But if you fight in your own interests and you working class, you can't do that.
Let me back up a little bit, let me backtrack. Obviously, a big spark for this Resistance Day, 7/7, is Michael Johnson.
Right.
But besides that, either one of y'all could take this. Besides that, what sparked the interest to say, hey, that make this day is the day of resistance, to recognize those people that was victims of police brutality? What say, hey, people, the members of GML say, hey, let's make this the day. Mm-hmm. Besides Michael X, what sparked that? What was that conversation like?
Hell, I don't remember, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna let Uhuru talk. The reason I don't remember because, well, I do remember, but I don't remember the first. Like normally, I remember like some of the stuff Yafeyo was mentioning on your show with GMF history, how we started. Yeah. I remember that stuff like it was yesterday. But some of the, some stuff I can't quite remember. But I do know that one of the reasons I can't remember because the next day, the following day after those police officers were murdered, me and Yafeyo phone was ringing the whole 24 hours in the day, non-stop. So from the time I got up and the time he got up, we was on the phone. So that's probably why I can't remember that aspect of it. But I will say that one thing is that we recognize what you just asked a question about is that they try to demonize him and demonize the movement, right? Character assassinate the movement, because they was tying him to many organizations.
I do remember that.
He never made a speech to say, I'm gonna shoot down some officers next week at 2:00, and I'm representing da-da-da-da-da. He never said that.
That's a good point, because I briefly remember, like, they had the picture of him outside of Pan-African Connection.
Right.
So they just, anybody that was associated with Pan-African Connection,
right,
they tied him to him,
right.
So that's a good point.
They even tried intimidating some of our comrades who took a picture with him
Right.
at
Oh, that's true.
the Malcolm X Day
Right, I forgot about
event.
that. Right.
Yeah, so it was a lot going on, man. It was the climate, you know. It was the police terrorism was at all time high. The people's attention was all on that, you know. And I just feel like to answer your question, it was me and Rakim, Chief Rakim, who said we're gonna just celebrate this. We're gonna mark this as a day of resistance every year. 7/7, we're gonna call it. We're gonna code it 7/7. You know, so that's why even when he got when the feds looked at his Facebook page when he made that post, you know, they used that post that he made about Michael Xavier Johnson in the courtroom to try to label him as a terrorist.
What's that popular term? What is it? Black identity extremists they use or something?
Right.
Yeah. Since we're gonna make this today, 7/7, to recognize police brutality, the victims. Like, what do people, regular, everyday, working class people, what should they do on this day? Like, the day is almost over, but let's say next year, going forward, years to come. What is the protocol? What should people do? I'm really curious about that. What should we be doing on this day?
For one, we shouldn't necessarily have a festival.
Okay.
But, you know, we love to do some damn festivals, shit. So, many of our elders who were, you know, revolutionaries, been revolutionaries their whole life, you know, dealing with Black August, commemorating movements and stuff, they've always been a little nervous about people turning Black August into, you know, hey, happy Black August, we da. They like, that ain't what this is about at all. This is about dedication, sacrifice, and resistance, you know. And so with this, I just think that the masses just need to use this day for one, to support those who resist capitalism and slavery, right? Oppression, right? And I don't think we do that enough. We talk about a lot about it, and our people, not to go hard on our people, but we, you know, a lot of time we talk about supporting something, it's already something we like. Support, he got the nice shoes. Support, he got a nice coat. Support my girl, she do the nails. Support her. And I ain't saying we shouldn't do, we should do that, right? You know, but that's not the only thing we should be supporting. It's something that we want to do anyway. We should be supporting things that's necessary. You know, the things that's going on in the community on 7/7, our people need to make a commitment to say, we support these organizations. Not just because it's cool, not because they was on TV, not because they got a lot of views on social media, but because I've studied this organization, these formations, like Minister Huey P. Newton said, Minister of Defense of Black Panther Party said, people learn by observation and participation. That's the best way to learn. You observe, then you participate in that which you observe, therefore you can internalize this. So the people saying, I've studied this organization, I follow them, I understand what their platform is, I want to support its benefiting the community. These are the kind of things that people should be doing on 7/7. You know, Delphine Johnson, Michael X's mother, this is a real woman. She's a work class woman like the rest of us. You know, she needs assistance. Michael, you know, was a big part of their family, you know, economy, right? You know, now he's been taken out the picture. And so, you know, she still needs assistance. She still needs support. We had a person that called herself an activist a couple years ago, tried to sue her.
I remember
Yeah, I
that.
want to
You see
touch
them?
on, you know,
Yeah.
what happened to her. That was it was, in my opinion, disgusting. You
Right,
know,
it
what they
was.
took her through after with her son. So y'all could kind of go over what she went through.
Who, the mother?
The mother, yeah, Miss
Yeah,
Johnson.
well, she's been under a constant attack from the state, you know, and people, the state coming to her job, you know, threatening to get her fired, you know, defaming her character. You know, we've met with Miss Delphine Johnson a couple of times, man, especially around this time of the year. We try to call her, and I've taken her out. You know, Mother's Day, we just want to show her our appreciation that she has somebody, an organization that supports her, you know. But like the chairman said, she was dealing with a special needs child, Michael's brother, so she needs support.
Man, so when we speaking of resistance, we talked about Uhuru. You touched on what happened to Rakim during that situation, and that just proves that we under the guise of freedom because we can roam around a little bit. But that
Mhm.
situation is proof that we still need to resist. It's that we still occupy when we can just say certain things. Like the Rakim situation should have been a wake up call to people to show them that we still need to resist, that we still being monitored,
Mhm.
and we not truly free because that Rakim situation clearly showed we not free to speak on Facebook and say things when they can just come and get someone in the middle of the night.
Right.
And y'all were close to Rakim Rock and Uhuru. I want to give it big credit to you because and you was with him thick and thin through the storm. A lot of people were, but to
No, they weren't, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
a small,
It was a small number of
supportive
people.
group.
Yeah, let's keep it real.
But you stuck out to me
Yeah.
through that situation and kind of tie into what we're talking about today.
Right.
Can you go into that situation a little more in detail?
Shit, I just, man, Rakim brought me into Guerilla Mainframe. It was the political education I got from him that drove me to fight harder for our people. And the comrade has always been solid for the whole time I've ever known him. So, it wasn't nothing, it was, that's just the type of guy I am. And I'm not gonna back down. I don't give a fuck who it is. It can be some street cats or the feds or, whoever.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stand on 10 toes about that, man. And, I just felt like it was the right thing to do.
After the whole pandemic and everything, and George Floyd, we see a lot of resistance now.
Mhm.
In your honest opinion, guys, is this authentic resistance or manufactured resistance?
Mhm. Yeah.
In your opinion?
It's authentic in the way that people really they care about the issues. They care about what's going on. So it's authentic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you mean manufactured by, is it encouraged by those in the status quo, or is it kind of fixed, so to speak?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think the imagery is fixed, or the narrative is fixed, but the love is genuine. It's just that we haven't understood that the 14th Amendment forced us to be citizens of this country. We never got together. Big Mama and Kunta and them never got together and had a plebiscite, which that is something collective as a people that you come together and you decide as a people in a formal setting what moves you want to make dealing with your sovereignty, nationhood, things of that nature. We never got together as a plebiscite and said, look, we want to be Americans. We want to be a part of the United States, thus and so. Or to say, no, we New Africans, whatever. We want our own independent territories right here, where we built this at, but we want it for us. We don't want it for anybody else. So we never made that decision. The 14th Amendment just said, yeah, y'all can be, you're a citizen. But it did that to be able to exploit our labor, to get wealth. And so because of that, we think that we're full citizens of this country, that we have the rights to everybody else. So a lot of times we take struggle casually. Oh, yeah, we protest. Because a lot of our people don't get mad until somebody's gunned down, or really until it's seen on social media, TV. Because I tell people all the time, in 2011 in Detroit, Michigan, where the hell is all this anger when Ayanna Jones, a 7-year-old girl, was shot in her own house? This is a baby now. George is a grown man. I'm not saying that he should have been able to defend himself in that situation, right? Because some of us, we practice martial arts and stuff like that. We know that in certain, techniques it's over with. But at the same time, this is a grown man. This is a child. Ayanna Jones was shot. That black came in saying they was looking for some drugs from her father, who was not even there at the time. And they went in and shooting, blasting. They shot this 7-year-old girl. So I'm saying that, but that was broadcast a little bit. But it didn't get the outrage that we see, now. And so, our people kind of take the resistance movement a little casually. We pick and choose. I'm Black Power today, or I'm Black Lives Matter, whatever you want to claim. I'm that today. I'm that today. No, I know that today. Some of our greatest people in history, not our greatest people, some of the greatest people in the history of this world, and a lot of them were Africans, They were every day. It's no non-stop. You know, it's every day. It's a process to this here. To make our communities better, to develop, to get free and sovereign and self-determined. That's a process. It's not nothing casual about it. You know, you might have to be up late at night. I know, man, I'm ready to go to sleep, dog. The game is on. We ain't got time for that. Either you want it or you don't. Either we want to be totally free and self-determined or we don't. That's the question that got to be put out there. And I think a lot of the casual groups who are getting these donations,
Yeah.
you know, because a lot of athletes and entertainers now are donating. They're not donating to some people who are real serious, just so happen, but they're donating to make it look good. You know, even MJ, Michael Jordan, your Ernest, ain't that what he's called? Aaron Jordan, even the GOAT, as they call him. Now he's trying to be a little bit, oh yeah, we need to change things. He's saying shit all his 59 years of life. Now he's 60. All of a sudden he's a change. So this is casual stuff we're talking about. But our people who understand that these things are necessary, the people have to gravitate toward, okay, this is what we need to deal with right here. This not nothing casual. Every day we need to examine and analyze what is our role in this society. That's why you study history. I told my I teach homeschool students, and I tell them, I say the reason you learn this is because you can understand history for your own self. You can understand what your place is in it. You don't let no goddamn rap album tell you what the fuck you want to do. Oh, I want to be like Cardi B. Why you want to be like her? You don't even know, do you? Just because you're on the radio. Oh, I want to be like LeBron. I want to be like, you know what I'm saying? But taking from history, you can understand what your place and say, you know what? This is the contribution I can make. I can be myself and make this contribution. I ain't got to be famous, any of that, rich. I just want to make this contribution. So our people need to understand and examine history thoroughly, not for what we want to see, but what it really is. And we can get out of this casual stage, but I think it's not manufactured. It's just a narrative. Who controls the narrative? You know, his legacy is very important, and controlling the narrative is very important. We got to control the narrative. That's the most important about 7-7. Chief Uhuru said, look, we're going to make this a day. We don't give a damn. You know, nobody gonna talk about it on the radio. Oprah Winfrey's not gonna talk about it. You know, but hey, we gonna make this a day because we're legitimizing resistance the way we want to. And so once we get out there casual stage, we can do it. But yeah, it's just about the narrative because yeah, it just reminded me of when I saw a lot of people didn't see it. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see on Juneteenth? It was the night of Juneteenth. Okay. The downtown ball of Dallas was red, black, and green.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't. A lot of people didn't. I said you didn't see that. I told you.
Somebody took a picture and posted on Facebook.
I saw
and
that.
for years they was doing the reunion ball red, white, and blue. No, it was blue on 7-7.
Oh yeah, they did that too. Right. But now it's red, black, and green all of a sudden because they know the people's conscience has changed. Mm-hmm. But they doing it even though the people's conscience has changed. It's not a revolutionary conscience. We always talk about a revolutionary conscience. That's different between an average conscience. Mm-hmm. A revolutionary conscience understands things in its fulfillment, right? In its entirety, not just emotion. Oh man, I'm pissed off. Yeah. We ain't revolutionary just because we pissed off. You know, because we understand there's a certain level of society that needs to happen, a certain level of qualitative leap and a quantitative leap, because you can't have a qualitative leap unless you have a quantitative leap. But we understand that these things need to take place. But the society gonna throw you a bone. Oh, here y'all go. I got your Black Lives Matter court, your Black Lives Matter street everywhere. Here you go. You know, so they do that. But when we get out of that casual stage and take our own life more serious, then it'll look less manufactured.
So my question is, because based upon what you're saying, even though you said the resistance is genuine, but it sounds like, you know, because we still in the casual stage, we're not headed in the right direction necessarily, based upon what people are doing, because everything, for me, do you think like it's sensationalized? Because like you got the streets, you got the ball downtown, right. you got all that
cool.
stuff, and it's cool right now. It's just it's trendy per se.
Right.
Yeah. So how do we like get out of that? How do we get our people out of that casual state?
Well,
that's a tough question.
It is. Yeah. And to be honest, it sounds cliche, but then again, it sounds like it's far back. We have to have institutions of consciousness that directs our people the way we want to go. That's the real reality of it. Yeah. Our children going to you go into these schools, we're getting indoctrinated in every aspect of the society. We're getting indoctrinated. So we have to have the institutions and put in the work to build institutions that produces the kind of effort and the progressive thinking and consciousness that we want. So we have a lack of revolutionary consciousness right now, but we don't have the institutions. Kwame Nkrumah, the great Kwame Nkrumah, who was the president of Ghana and co-president of Guinea, who led the independence movement of Ghana in 1957. He talked about the All African People's Revolutionary Party. Pan-Africanism is this concept that all African people embrace this concept and be a part of this formation no matter where you are in the world. But he pushed this line, he just do it when he was speaking. But he understood this one thing. If I'm gonna push this shit, first thing I gotta do is I gotta do something that's outside of the spectrum and the realms of God. So what he do? He had an All African People's Revolutionary Academy institution where people from all over the countries come get ideologically trained and educated in skills, in ideology, learning how to build for African unity. Robert Mugabe, many people don't know, Robert Mugabe went to that institution. That's how he was able to help change Rhodesia to Zimbabwe so quickly. From the late 80s to the late 70s to the early 80s, they got free in Zimbabwe, and Rhodesia, that was named after Cecil Rhodes, came from Rhodesia to Zimbabwe because he went to this institution as a youngster and internalized these revolutionary Pan-Africanist principles. So in our community here, we're going to have institutions that cater to the kind of consciousness that we want to produce. As long as our everyday life is consuming Americanism, it's going to produce people who in and sometimes people who's out. And that's what it's going to do. So we have revolutionary institutions that serve the needs of the people, but at the same time building that consciousness. You know, until we have that, I just don't see people getting out of their casual
We ain't
stage.
talking about no Umar type instance.
No.
Shut up.
No. You gonna get me talking, man. You gonna get me talking.
I'm just asking questions.
It's funny you said that because an organization that little known about.
It's kind of like what you're saying. People funnel money to them.
Yeah, they
millions
do.
of dollars.
They don't realize it don't take that much to build an institution. In fact, he was a guest speaker in San Antonio at a organization called Organization for Black Unity in San Antonio, who've been educating African students for 40 years, non-stop, and ain't no break. This we was talking about, and that's a little known organization, but you know they've done some great things, really, and he went to he was that guest speaker one year, when he was hot and before all the lies and shit started coming. And I was down there right before he came, and one of the sisters there, she was talking to me, and she didn't know I was down there. She said, "Yeah, Umar's coming to speak at Black Family." I said, "Yeah, he can learn a lot from y'all." That's what I told her. I said, "He can learn a lot from y'all." They own their institution. This is property. They had a restaurant which they still use, but they don't have a building anymore. But it's called a Few Choices Restaurant. The food that comes from the restaurant comes from their own garden. Their own students grow this. They send $5,000 to $10,000 to their top student every. It doesn't take a lot to do this. They've been doing it for a year. They started in their late 20s. It started with 2 people. One of them is an ancestor now. It's not that hard. But you're trying to sell people, I got this university and you're gonna have a million people. But our people don't understand. It's not just like Jessica said, it's not about no damn sensation. Yeah. It's about getting the job done. Right. See what I'm saying? That's what it's about.
And one thing he did prove, they want the job done because they were sending him money. So that proves we can funnel the money, raise the funds.
If we want to. Yeah.
If we want to.
Yeah.
I like the idea, institution, but is it possible to build those type of institutions within the confines of the United States?
Yes, it is. It is. Now, like everything else in life, things change and progress over time. Mm-hmm. We're doing that. You still have to evolve with time, and we might outgrow that process. But anyway, you have to do this anyways because the deal is, the reason we gonna outgrow the process because in our societies, the class that produce the wealth in the society supposed to own the means of production. So in America, the working class don't own the means of production. Don't have no say so what the technology is, how it's gonna be used, who's gonna benefit. Jeff Bezos and them decide this. And the state let them do it. Oh, it's free market capitalism. It's no dictatorship. You sure? It look like a goddamn dictatorship to me. Because the wealth comes from production. Wealth don't come. Oh yeah, man. You know you do. Wealth comes from production. That's where wealth comes from. And the people that's producing are not wealthy, collectively or individually. So eventually, it's going to have to become from rebuilding our institutions to look. We're going to have to own all and control our institutions of society. When people say defund the police, that's cute. It's fine. I like it. Community control of police. That sounds too radical for people. How are we going to tell them what to do? Obviously, because they can't tell themselves what to do. They stupid as hell. They anti-humane. Look at the shit they do. Community control of police. Community control of the workplace. Community control of healthcare, education. How are we going to do all that? It sounds far-fetched. But the people don't realize the potential they have. That's why that sounds far-fetched. In the 1930s and 40s, the labor movement of America had this status quo shook up. That's why you got to study history. People don't understand how history is important. People think, oh, history is just black and white pictures. Oh, man, Martin Luther King, such and such, George Washington. History is not no goddamn black and white picture. History is everything that has ever happened in existence. Everything that's ever happened in existence. When King got his first fame when he was 3, that's history. We have to examine and study everything around the 1930s. The labor movement had this country shook. That's why FDR came with Social Security. He didn't give a damn about your social life or your damn security. You see what I'm saying?
In your opinion, is that a form of socialism? Is it?
In a casual sense, if you're talking about casual, yes.
It's like,
but in the totality of it,
no,
hell no. Because they still have health care. You got this Social Security, but if you don't have certain health benefits, shit, that gangrene, you got it. It's it.
You ain't gonna see that damn Social Security.
Yeah, right, because it's gonna go to that if you do get health care. Yeah, right. So no, but at the time it was a huge step for a country trying to get its structure back in order. So that's what it's about, law and order. Every president can tell you that.
So that's what y'all have in Dallas now. Me ask you, because you live in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all have, like y'all, what is the citizen or community oversight? Y'all have that over the police department now, right?
Yes, yes. Dallas has that. Yes, they got it. It's not ours. It was presented by members of the community, but see, this is why we say that even in building our institutions, we're gonna have to transition to a mass working class movement. Because the deal is that when you don't have power as a collective, anything you do can be co-opted. Mm-hmm. And that's what has happened with that, civilian oversight.
It's co-opted.
Yes, because they neglected and purposely overlooked the people in the community, the people who pushed this wanted. The people who pushed this said, look, these are the people we recommend to be on this board. No.
Mm-hmm.
No. It's people on there don't nobody in the community know. I mean, somebody knew them. It's their cousin. Oh, Jesse, somebody knew them, but they're not progressive. They're not active in the community historically.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so they co-opted that way. They pull in people. Oh, he's safe. Come here.
Yeah.
You're safe. Come here.
So it's safe to say they don't have oversight.
No, not a serious oversight.
A serious oversight.
No.
Wow.
It's co-opted.
Wow.
Because it'll be some rumblings in the.
Yeah, because the image is like, oh, Dallas we got this oversight in Dallas, but
that's that casual. See,
we talking about. I'm on the same page. Like they thinking like they
right,
got real oversight.
Right.
But truly they don't.
No,
it's like a pacifier.
Right. It's just that casual stuff.
Wow.
But they always say a revolutionary is never satisfied. So I guess we on the end of that. We know that this just But that's why we say community control the police.
So all the solutions, building institutions that controlled by the community. The common thread I got from what you were saying with the whole resistance piece and how to move forward is it come from the community being in control, the people having the power to control institutions and how things are being ran in their local city government, state level, national level.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. How can you motivate the people that want to get involved to have control over anything? Because a lot of people still out there just they working their job. They gotta pay their bills. They don't have time to think about all this shit. How can we shift their attention to get like that? What is the mode, the method, the I know it's a loaded question because if we had the answer, we'll be
Yeah, because I'm
we'll
gonna
be
tell you
done
something.
overnight.
I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, I don't get because now we understand things scientifically, but here's the thing: the kicker to this too is that in this society, something drastic gonna have to happen. It ain't gonna have shit to do with us. It's gonna have something to do with us because we in a mix of it. But it's gonna have to be something drastic in this type of society. See, in other societies where more indigenous societies, where the people all come from the same cloth, they already know this is wrong. Just like in Haiti, the president was killed. Ain't no telling who done it, but look, somebody agreed on a collective basis. Man, we need to get this motherfucker out of here. The last 3 years, we've been struggling and resisting this here. We need somebody need to do something about this. They already naturally collective. This ain't nothing you gotta read a whole bunch of books. This is the indigenous culture that they had. They understand since the 1790s when Duty Bookman and Dessalines and all them came together, Tucson Overture, and said, hey, you're gonna be free. We're gonna be anti-slavery. So they understand this, but in a society like this, where it's a prison of nations, people just come together, make their money, live a good life, go to your Mavericks game, have a good time, whatever you want to do. Free for all. That's the concept that's put out there. Free for all. It's gonna have to have something drastic to happen to really shake people up. See, in America, it have to hit home for people. And back and y'all Fayo mentioned it to you on one of your last shows. Back when we were talking about first dealing with police terrorism, even when we was calling it that, cats was like, oh, that's a little harsh, Shane. It's just some bad apples in the bunch. No, this shit been happening since slavery. What are you talking about? You talking some damn bad apples. That's a long ass time to have some bad apples. But but the people in Dallas, it didn't look like this then. See what I'm saying? It didn't look like this. It had to hit home for some people. Even some people that got involved and still organized to this day told us personally. They said, I was in my world of bliss when this shit happened. But now that it hit home for me, I'm with it. So it's going to be something drastic that's going to have to happen in America, which a lot of, economically speaking, a lot of shit is going to happen drastic because this society in this capitalist state is on a downturn. They're losing a lot of resources. A lot of countries that had a United States dollar as their second reserve currency, they done dropped that 4 and 5% just in the last 5 years. So in the last 4 or 5 years, it dropped every year the percentages. So you have to think about that. They're losing their grip. You see what I'm saying? Even in Haiti, they losing their grip. This man was assassinated. United States backed this man.
Because 2020 showed a glimpse of exactly what you're talking about, where the fucking word flipped upside down. We all seen that, and people they wasn't working.
Right.
They was just fucking shit up because they just didn't have shit else to do.
Right,
Wasn't no sports going on.
Yeah, right.
Nobody didn't want to watch no bubble basketball.
Right.
They were just tearing shit up. They say, we want this, we want this demand.
Right.
People was marching, white, black, everybody, different, whoever the fuck. They was in the fucking streets.
Right.
They had shit else to do, they wasn't working.
Right.
And shit got done. And holy behold, stimulus check came.
Yeah.
The Lakers started playing.
Sports, people's shit is open back up now.
Dallas Cowboys signed that.
Yeah. So it seemed like they can put us back to sleep. We saw the solutions during 2020. We saw what it took. It took chaos in the streets to get stuff done. And it got done overnight. They released funds like overnight, trillions of dollars.
Right.
Release.
So they could have been there then.
So they could have been done.
Right.
And I've been thinking like, that go the homeless problem right there. That could have been stuff for shelters for homeless people, whatever,
Skills training for homeless people.
Whatever.
Some homeless people that lost their damn skills. Some of them been down and out since high school.
Yeah. So that showed what the solutions are, and but people, now they back on the old shit now. Like, you saw your answers, you did this, you got these results. Now we back to the old bullshit. So I wish we had a way of, how can we get the people back on the 2020 shit? You know, like, what we gotta do to get them back on that shit? We need another crash to happen? Like, you know.
Man, to be honest, the only thing we can do is what we do.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be real, I had to grow in many ways, you know, I had to grow even spiritually, you know. I look at life from many different aspects, and I had to really just step back and examine my own self. I always say the best realization is self-realization. Anybody can point the finger, be a victim and shit, cry. But I had to look and say, you know, I'm too damn attached to the outcome of every goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want people to be free all across the world. I don't give a fuck what it takes. But I have to be realistic. It's really, man, I mean, it's not up to us. People gonna have to make their decision and they're gonna jump on board. Now, what is up to us is our efforts. You know, our efforts. What your effort is what's gonna determine, you know, if we put out the effort, we gonna get majority of what we want. Now, the way the universe works, we ain't gonna get every damn thing we want, because we gotta learn some lessons even up on the road. You ain't gonna have no, it must be a balance.
Exactly.
Right? But we're gonna get a lot of what we want, but we gotta put more effort into what we really feel we need and what we deserve. That's why it tripped me out when our people be like, man, reparations ain't, you know, we ain't gonna do nothing but go back to the malls. I don't give a damn. What you can't determine what everybody gonna do.
Exactly.
You can't say because somebody get $5 million, they gonna go to the mall. How the hell you know that? You see what I'm saying? I know some people can't stand no damn mall. They don't even watch TV. So how do you know this? The thing is, we gotta push that shit because we deserve it. They owe it to us, 495 years. Well, that's how long we've been over here from West Africa. Of course, the United States wasn't formed in 1526 when the Spanish brought us to Georgia and South Carolina. But nevertheless, they came on the same damn mission. It all turned into what the British Empire wanted any damn way, even after the American Revolution. But 495 years of this shit. You know, we deserve this. It ain't about what Johnny gonna do, what little Roscoe gonna do. It's about what we deserve. We deserve to have the best life possible. Not just this dump down shit. Oh, a nigga can only work here. The 22-year-old white boy that just came from Yale, he gonna be a manager before you been here and you 52. We don't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, yeah, we just don't have time. And so people just gonna have to make a decision. And those of us who are actively working to raise the conscience of the people, we gonna have to work harder. We gonna have to get creative. And we gonna have to have unity, principle unity. We say this shit all the time, principle unity. It's too many people think they competing with the next man. We ain't no goddamn competition. Cause the truth is, you really wanna talk, your ass, if I lose, you gonna lose. You might not think that shit, but that's what, when our people was taking over them slave ship, it wasn't no more, we the man thinkers. Oh, we the Fulani, fuck this shit. Fulani need to take this ship over. If the Mandinga motherfucker take the ship before the Fulani, guess what he know? That Mandinga motherfucker know where Africa is. You see what I'm saying? The Fulani know where Africa is. This cracker, we don't know what the hell he taking our ass. So we gotta understand that principle unity is what's gonna drive it. Principle unity, and we gotta know what we fight for, why, you know, and how we gonna take these measures, what we gonna do to get it done. And we got to be organized. We got to be sophisticated. Sometimes we don't think ourselves worthy enough to be sophisticated. You see what I'm saying? We have posts, we have titles. You know, one of the comrades we work with in the Prison of Conscience Committee in the Panther Club, Trevor Fred Edwards Jr., he talked this shit all the time. You know, structure. People don't get it. He had some words with Jay-Z about what Jay-Z said. I was born the day Jeremy Fred Hampton died. He said, hell no, you ain't born the day he died. He was assassinated. And people say, why the hell is that a big deal? You just picking bones. No, he said, no, we don't understand that we are worthy of this shit. Chairman Fred was a real deputy chairman of a real organization. You see what I'm saying? There wasn't no play shit, but we see Obama and his wife come in. Oh, I'm so proud of him. I love him to death. When we see our own people that been working in the community and sacrificing, dedicating their life, shit the Obamas ain't ever got to do. We look at that just like, that's just some guys that work in the community. No, man. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah. These people are more important. Che Guevara once said, one person's life, not even I was in this room, one person's life is more important than all the goddamn riches that the richest people in the world have. One person is more important than all the riches that all the rich motherfuckers got. See what I'm saying? And we got to own that concept, and we got to take them steps and sacrifice and dedicate ourselves wholeheartedly, and we got to have principle unity. That's all we can control. After that, the people got to make their decision. Do they want to ride or die with it?
And that's another thing that people are gonna be critical of resistance of against police brutality because, they're gonna say, well, it's okay to be resistant against them, but what about black on black crime?
bullshit.
Should we be putting more effort in being resistant against the people that are causing the killings in the community and stuff like that in Dallas, Fort Worth, Chicago? We kill more of our own people than the police do. So what do you have to say to that?
Shit, the same shit I always say. First thing I tell people when they bring that to me, I say, okay, check this out. You making this, you're not looking at this thing in a universal thing. Violence is violence. Ain't no goddamn black on black violence. Violence is violence. And I always ask them, look here, we can deal with that internally. We can deal with that shit. We should deal with that internally. But if we don't deal with that shit internally, I don't need to see your goddamn phone ready to call no police. Because we done dealt with internal issues in the community before, some real shit. No cameras, no nothing around. We dealt with that shit, this how it happened. Bam, hey man, we gonna handle this shit, this how it go. Well, no, they fighting, ain't none of that shit. If you wanna really be doing it for the community and be independent and have an independent council in the community to deal with issues, we can do that. But I always tell them too, we can do that internally. We ain't finna make a big show of it, you know why? Name me the last president that mentioned white on white violence. Name me the last senator that mentioned white on white violence. Name me the last city councilman, fire chief, CEO of a company that mentioned white on white violence. I want you to tell me their goddamn name. Tell me their name. Any time in history. For the last 500 years. That's a lot of damn people you can name. Tell me the name. You can't tell me. Nobody, you don't see no politician, we need to curb white on white violence in this great country. They never say that shit. Because ain't no damn white on white violence. Violence is violence. We try to book these damn prisons because a lot of money coming into prisons now, and we getting free labor because of the damn 13th Amendment. And we ain't just making no damn license plate. Where people get that shit from, I don't know. The shit you gonna get at Walmart, they making that. That's the shit they make. So we don't get caught up in no white politician, no white leaders ever talk about no damn white on white violence. We don't need to talk about it. Yes, we have problems in our community, but guess where that shit come from? We don't want to talk about this. Chief Rakim be talking about this all the time. Oh, okay, you talking about black on black violence? You gonna boycott the goddamn radio stations? Why would I do that? Oh, because I have a CD over here of a brother talking about positive shit, education, mentoring the youth, black economics. Then I got this goddamn CD that you play on your fucking radio talking about bitch this, hold that, whoop a bitch, stop a bitch. Yeah, and your kids listening to this shit, taking this in. They want to be a pimp, this, that, and the third. Yeah, are you gonna boycott that? That's the culture. That's part of the culture. Subconscious programming. Oh yeah, and then when you go to the schools, they tell you you can only be this, you can only be that. So when people say this black or black violence thing, look, we talking about school books that only got 2 pages of black history. How the hell, that's a crime within itself. That's a crime within itself. How the hell is this black history, which is goddamn world history, just like Arthur Schomburg told the great scholar John Henry Clark, when he was mentoring him, John Henry Clark came to Arthur Schomburg and said, I want to know all of black history right now. I came all the way here to meet you. Arthur Schomburg looked at John Henry Clark and said, boy, don't you know that what you talking about is black history is world history? What the hell you talking about? So we talking about school books that we grew up on, 5 pages. Rosa Parks sat on the damn bus. And she did a hell of a lot more than what people want to give her credit for. They ain't bashing Rosa Parks. But it's just, these 3 pages. Then they go back to George Washington chop down a cherry tree, honest aid, and all these other crooked motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? It goes back to this here. But that's a crime within itself. So you have that to blame. You have that to blame. The way your neighborhood looks, it's a food desert. You have all these things to blame. You have the music to blame. If you don't want to boycott all that, then don't come to me talking about no black on black violence. You see what I'm saying? Because when I was a teenager, the only time I got revved up and wanted to go punch some motherfuckers that looked like me is when I was listening to some 3 6 Mafia, some shit. Turn the club up, some No Limit, fuck them other niggas. Cause soon as I hear that shit, I'm going into a mile with my boy. Dog, that cat over there mug. You know what we was saying tonight? Dog, why that nigga mugging me so hard, bro? I'm finna catch that fool. Yeah, this kind of shit. This is not historical African culture. See what I'm saying? Even when Shaka Zulu was doing this shit. If people know Shaka Zulu history, Shaka Zulu fought a lot of Africans, right? But he had a strategy in that shit. It wasn't just, all the motherfuckers over there bugging, fuck them. Let's throw some spears in they thought. No, man. So if we gonna boycott some shit, we need to boycott the whole culture of self-hate. So if we're not boycotting inferiority complex and self-hate, then we can't deal with we can't deal with what we call black on black violence.
Since we on black, so we gotta change our culture of the self-hate within music, movies,
Right.
All type of other forms of propaganda. Basically, what you're saying, right? That seemed like to the average person, the little person, that seemed like a big task. What are some things we can do on the ground level, just as small individual people in our local communities? In your opinion, what can we do I hate using the term black on black crime. What can we do to curb that as organizers?
Yeah.
What part can we play?
We can be an example. Okay. People learn by observation and participation, but the key to that is what made it sound so good when Minister Huey said the shit is that you had old ladies with the bag with the pimp on it. I'm sticking up for the Panthers. The police coming here, they wrong. The Panthers said did for my family, my children. That's what made it look good. But and people coming over to help. But the part of that they're missing in our community is the participation part. They got the observation down pat. They can tell you real mainframe, BM. They can tell you all kind of shit. What you stand for, your platform. But they're not participating in the process. Oh, wow. That's what it has to be. The people have to participate. I tell people all the time, this is solidarity, not charity. The community vanguard.
Hold on, say that again.
Solidarity, not charity.
All right.
The community, the vanguard community survival program don't got nothing to do with charity. I tell comrades all the time, look, man, don't get caught up in charity. We not no damn heroes. Yeah, we dedicate, sacrifice our life, and people should respect that and they should honor that. But it's not about. We not no hero. This not no charity case. We not no people that's far off somewhere. I always tell people, I don't believe in giving back. I ain't giving back. How am I give back if I ain't left it? You see what I'm saying? We ain't giving back. Oh yeah, I'm driving off my limo, I'm throwing you some stuff. No, this is not charity. This is for the people's participation. You want to be free? You're gonna have to participate in that process. You want to change the way the streets look? You want to change the economic structure of our community? You want to stop land grab, what we call gentrification? You want to stop that? You're going to have to participate in that process to end it. It ain't going, oh, y'all doing a good job. No, ain't no y'all, it's only 5 of us. Where you at? You got to get to work. So our people got to get to work when we in our communities. If a brother in the community somewhere, they tripping or whatever, oh man, they get loud, we approach, hey brother, calm down. We don't want no police coming over because we know the statistics show in the protest and the resistance show that police are killing black people. They've been doing so since slavery. We don't want to continue that culture. Why don't we come down and try to settle this on the middle ground? You can't have no other people in the community talking, no, fuck that shit. Oh, we just talk about black on black violence, right? You got to participate in a process which we try to mediate a situation to get some common unity in. So it takes little steps like that. Coming in the community, understanding who's who, building a relationship with each other. When we talk about mutual aid, that's what mutual aid is. We coming together, helping take care of each other. We see this shit happen with the winter storm. That's what we tell people. We see what happened with the winter storm. We need to understand that our historical nature is to take care of each other collectively. The hell with all the small talking to small beasts. We ain't got no time for that. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we need to, so it takes small steps. There ain't no grandiose thing we gonna do. We could patrol. We started our patrol. You heard the show that we started our patrol, and we got some results from that. We had some cats that was some big drug cats, and they saw the work we did, and they respected. And they said out their own mouth, man, I respect what y'all doing over here. I'm gonna move around. You see what I'm saying? It's little stuff like that, but you got to be consistent in principle. That's the first step, and people got to participate. Now, if the whole community be like, oh man, hell with that, you can stay, you my nigga. That would have never happened. You see what I'm saying? You still been having this black on black talk. So we have to get the results, we got to put in the work, and the people got to join in with us. We need the elders, we need everybody. We need these church goers, these prayer circles. Folks always talk about my prayer circle. Come on, prayer circle, get involved in this. It ain't that hard. It just take consistency and principle unity.
Yeah, I think, and just that part, one of your biggest frustrations, basically, he said it for word, was people just want to give to you. Okay, here you go now. Go do the work.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the hardest part.
That's good. So hey, but we need it all because sometimes you just got people that just want warm bodies.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
They just standing there for a
Everybody got a
picture.
position.
Yeah,
You know, everybody got a position.
Yeah, you appreciate the giving.
Mhm.
Don't get me
Right,
wrong, but you know, it comes to a standpoint where you have some people like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be here, and they don't show up.
That's exactly what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Right.
So you know,
Yeah.
those warm bodies, they might be a part of the organization, but they ain't active in the organization.
Right.
You know, so
They might can't give a dollar, but they there just, you know what I'm saying? They passing out flyers, giving out water.
them the most appreciative
Oh,
ones.
they
The
actually
one where you
are.
may
Yeah,
not
you
have
right,
no money, but
right.
you got your boots on the ground.
Right,
Them
that's
the best,
true.
them the best ones.
Right.
Always.
We need more of
So,
them.
and that brings me to, you know, like what, like being a part of the revolution and doing the revolutionary work. Because I know for me, I can say sometimes I get discouraged, but you know, you keep on pushing. What keeps you going?
For me, it's cats like Chairman Fred Hampton. You know, seeing, talking to him, talking to the Mother Core, Elder Comrade with the Black Panther Party. You know, it's seeing people that's older than me still doing it and been doing it for 30, 40 years. That's what motivates me. My comrades, you know, seeing the dedication to them and some of these new cats. Like Ace, Ace is a real good comrade. Like Ace and Black Royal Family. Ace motivates me.
Right.
Because you know, a lot of times, man, Guerilla Mainframe, we've been through a lot, man. And I just been around for 5, 6 years now, man, and I've been through a lot, dealing with the struggle, man. And new people, fresh faces, man, can motivate you, get you motivated to get back out there on the battlefield, man. But we also got to take care of our mental too. You know, take a break. You know what I'm saying? Take a break.
Relax and have your good little time.
Y'all see me, I'll be with Chairman Fred one day, and next day, you know, you might see me, you know, somewhere with a dollar bill in my hand. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's me.
Don't encourage them.
Hey, that's
Don't
me.
encourage them.
Yeah.
Don't encourage them so no dollar bill.
But this ain't church, man. This revolutionary struggle. So you know.
I gotta go, man.
Yeah.
These niggas getting on my nerve. I gotta go.
Yeah. Sometimes you go through the motion, like on what's that movie? Talk to Me about Petey Green.
Yeah.
The biopic about Petey Green. Mike Epps is Dewey Hughes' brother in the movie, and he came to see him and see he all frustrated. And then Mike Epps say, "Man, why you even do this shit? Why you come see me? You don't even like mine. I'm your brother, but why you come do this?" And he said, "Cause I promised mama." And sometimes you just feel like, I feel like that moment, like, cause I got Matulu in there, man. You know what I'm saying? We love our freedom fighter. Fuck these motherfuckers on new. And I ain't no disrespect to Bill Cosby and Jello Pudding, America's Dad, and none of these goddamn celebrities. I love, man, we love our comrades. They sacrifice for real. Well, no, I got this money, so I'm gonna do this shit. We don't like, Cherry Fred Jr. always said, I'm starting to take his quote the last couple of weeks. We don't deal with role models, we deal with real models, man. We ain't playing no damn role. Roses for movies and video. This is real. We talking about real model. Dr. Matulu Shakur. You know what I'm saying? Mumia Abu Jamal, man. Jaleel Muta King. We got a personal relationship with these people. These people, I can't let them down. I can't stop it. You know, like Black I always say, can't stop, won't stop, or refuse to be stopped. I can't do it. I want to be like Dewey Hughes sometime, man, because I promised mama. You know, even my real mama, who just passed a couple years ago, you know what I'm saying? She thought very highly of me, more than she thought when I was 15. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so she watched me grow and be serious about something in life. You know, and so I can't, you can't let people down, man. You gotta keep the fire going. You gotta keep the line. You know, you gotta hold that damn line. And George Jackson, Field Marshal, man, I love. It's like he my grandpa or something, man. You know, he always said they'll never count me amongst the broken men. I always feel like that. You know what I'm saying? you know, and I've been like that. I've been having that in my life since I was born. I always feel like that. So it's just like, they'll never count me amongst the broken men. I don't give a damn. I'm the only one out there. I'm gonna do this shit. I don't give a damn. You don't get with the shit. You don't get with the shit. I'm with the shit. It's gonna happen today. You know, and I just feel like, you know, sometimes I have to get that spirit, you know, and sometimes you need a boost. Yeah. Shit, some days I get on, I be like, man, hell this bullshit today. You know what I'm saying? Comrades calling you 3 in the morning. They got a girl, they got some kind of, you know, they upset about something. And if when you serious and you principled, you gotta answer shit. So we ain't talking about no casual. Yeah. Casual people fine with this shit. They ain't like y'all talking about. They fine, oh man, shit, you better call me tomorrow, shit. I just gotta do part of my birthday. No, you got the answers, motherfucker. Hello, Trey, man, we need to fix this shit. You gotta listen to this shit, you sleepy as hell, you gotta deal with the next day. You like, man, the hell with this shit. I need to go to another country and relax for a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have that balance anyway. Yeah. You know, because not having balance, man, that shit can really eat you up and make you vicious. You know, and so but it's just the elders that came before me. I really respect that shit. During my time to travel around the country, elders used to always tell me, man, look, if you got organizations around and they ain't talking about freedom for political prisoners, they ain't serious. That ain't got to be their #1 platform, because we all got different things. That's our shit. But they ain't dealing with political prisoners, acknowledging political prisoners, prisoners of war that represented them years before. They ain't serious. And I'm like, man, that's some real shit. You know what I'm saying? That's some real shit, because, man, hey, man, that's real, man. These people did this, and they ain't have to do this here. They ain't have to do this. They could have been superstars. Some of these cats was top football players, all American, all state. These just wasn't no people sitting in no back room. Man, I hate the white man. I'm ugly. I'm dirty. Hell no. These people all state. Geronimo Jajaga, the Purple Heart. How many people got a goddamn Purple Heart? You know the military. See what I'm saying? These people were decorated people and could have been, you know, Hall of Famers and movie stars and shit in their life. But they chose to sacrifice for the people. They chose to try to make their community and the world a better place. When I examine all that, I gotta hold my ground and hold the line, no matter what's going on.
Man, that's a perfect way to end it right there. But before we go, man, we're gonna have to bring y'all back.
Yeah, because I had some stuff I wanted to read to some people. People don't like facts, but see, I like to pick. I like to pick on people. Our people don't like facts, but I got some facts for you in my notes right here.
We gonna have to bring you back.
I got some real facts about resistance and disarming people that go back to some of the laws of New York and Richmond, Virginia, and actually something that just passed in Richmond, Virginia, the Senate Bill 4. You know what I'm saying? It says they want to prohibit people from doing Krav Maga. You don't believe this shit. What? Krav Maga, working out, doing militia training, which just means just training with your family self-defense, like how y'all do, and how we do. That kind of stuff. This Senate Bill 4, this is 2020, not 1920, 2020. See what I'm saying? So these are kind of things, it's always been attacked. It ain't no war on guns. A gun can't do shit. If a gun's sitting in that corner, you just look at it, it's no danger to nobody. You know what I'm saying? If you're a damn nutcase and got a mental problem, you might shoot somebody in here. But that's not likely to happen. You see what I'm saying? More likely you're going to do it to defend yourself. It's been history of these laws and these codes targeted working class African people, even black, even some of the Latino-esque community. These laws, they come from 1820, 1620 to 2020. I will read some of them, but check out the Senate Bill 4, SB 4.
Everybody check that out.
Check it out,
SB 4.
SB 4. But before we leave though, but still tell Uhuru, Erick, whoever want to take it, tell people about more about the resistance, about GMF, real quick. Give them your website, your cash out, whatever, man. Give them all that right now before we dip out of here.
Okay, well, if you want to get in contact with me, I'm Uhuru Balogun on Instagram, Uhuru Balogun on Facebook. Our YouTube is Guerilla Mainframe. If you're in the local Dallas area, our office is in the streets. So, when you see us, just holler at us.
Hey, and guys, that pretty much wrap up another episode.
Also, follow Vanguard Community Survival Programs on Instagram as well.
Instagram.
Yeah. You can contact me 214-514-9464.
And ladies, he a married man. Don't, it better be about business now. So he can
Shut up.
But other than that, that wrap up another episode of Revolutionary Talk. Man, we had some special guests. We had to do this impromptu episode tonight on 7/7. Resistance, people. That's keep in mind we are resisting police brutality and organizing and building solidarity with comrades locally, statewide, and nationally. And as we always end it, all power to the people.
All power to the
All
people.
power to the people. Long live Micah.